rock and roll caster. As you probably can tell by the footage on the drive in here, that it's been raining really heavily. The only reason I'm coming to the stream today is because I think it's probably the only stream in central and southern Alberta that might not actually be blown out and look like chocolate milk. So here we are. We're in central Alberta. It took me about 2 hours probably to get here this morning. But this stream is known province-wide anyways as being probably one of the best for brown trout. We're probably looking maybe at 10 to 12 pound brownies in here. However, most people, or a lot of people, won't fish this stream because it's insane. It's so overgrown and almost impossible to fish at times. It's 100% a wader stream, even in the middle of hot summer, because this water it's a spring creek. It's fed directly from a spring, and that water's damn cold as it comes out of the ground. So, and chances are you can't fish from the shore. You're going to have to probably wade 95% of the whole entire thing. So let's go fishing, and hopefully we can get something today. It was worth the risk of coming out here. So there's a couple reasons why I'm going to pick a spring stream to go fishing today as opposed to normal type of stream, or especially a hike-in mountain lake. A couple reasons for not going to a lake. Number one is that when you have this really high level of rain that you get in the spring and the early summer here, your trail can really degenerate into a muddy slog. It can be very, very inconvenient, I guess. It's just not that fun. Everything gets wet, especially your boots and your feet. The other reason is that when you get to the actual lake at the top, you're not going to be moving around that much up there. So what's happened is that after you do your big hike, you're all sweaty, you're in your rain gear, and your rain gear doesn't pass all that moisture out. So you're actually quite wet inside your rain gear as well. So as you're not moving around, that moisture really contributes to cooling down your core body temperature, so you can end up being really cold when you're up there. Now with normal streams, a lot of how they are fed in terms of their water supply depends a lot on rain. So when you have this much rain coming down over a long period of time, what will happen is that the water levels will go up, and you're going to get a lot of mud, you're going to get a lot of sediment in the water. So that's going to do a couple things. It's going to, basically your fish are not going to be where they're supposed to be, and they're going to be very, very hard to find, and it's going to be really hard to fish. This spring stream, generally, if it's 100% spring fed, you don't have all these mountains and hills contributing to the sediment and the drainage. So you're not going to get as much of a water level change as you would on a normal stream. And also your water is going to stay a lot cleaner on these streams than it would on compared to a normal stream, so that you're going to be able to see what you're fishing through. With that being said, this particular spring-fed stream, once I saw this here this morning, it's running really, really high. And I said that we're going to be basically wading through this the whole time. I'm not going to be able to wade through this at all. Normally, when I'm going through this stream, I'm almost up to the top and overflowing my waders to begin with. So I know damn well that if I start walking in here, it's going to go over the top of my waders, and that's a dangerous situation. Once you start flooding your waders, you don't want to be swimming around with gallons and gallons of water inside your waders. That's a good way to drown, actually. That's why we wear these wader belts, so that you only fill up the top part of your waders. Anyways, we're fishing from shore. It's very, very grown over here today already at this time of year. So we're just going to do our best to see what we can get. So with the water levels being this high in this particular stream, it's going to be a lot harder to find where the fish are. When the water levels are low, what that does is force them into the good pockets. As it stands right now, they could be anywhere in this entire stream. Because the water's fast, they're going to probably be hugging into places that are slowed down. And generally speaking, I'm not expecting to be able to catch a lot out of here. We're going to do our best. Hopefully we can latch onto something, but I'm not feeling overly confident.
Oh, this is f***ing brutal. Alright, so I've lost 4 hooks today already. I usually lose nothing. This place is insane. Just had a bite. Oh, another bite there. It's about time. They're waking up, so I don't have to go home. Come on, give me another one. This is an extremely good sign. 2 bites from 1 hole. It's got some size. Holy smokes. Go, that thing's kind of a pig. Nice fish. It's there we go. Oh! Control your emotions. Pod 1. Okay. The game's still on. Come on. Strike 1, you're out, Joel. Get out of it. Get out of here. Go back in the dugout. You're out. We know we're in some nice looking water here, and they're there. Probably scaring them away with the explosion this number 3 makes. All right, boys. Got a nice juicy silver anglia number 3. Problem with this still water is they can see much more clearly what that hook is. You can see that it's fake. Whereas in the fast water, I got to make a split-second decision whether they want to eat that thing or not. So as I was saying, my rain gear totally earned its pay today. Going through this bush, it's completely abrasive. If I was walking through here just with a t-shirt, I'd probably have no flesh left on my arms. Definitely not short wearing kind of environment out here. When you're going with the higher levels of rain gear, I really recommend Gore-Tex. Number one, it breathes, so that if it's hot like the way it's becoming right now, your sweat actually has the ability to wick off your skin and then evaporate through the Gore-Tex membrane, or in the case of Patagonia, they've got what's called H2No. I think they're pretty close as the same as each other. Very tough, but that moisture evaporates out, and at the same time it doesn't let the big molecules of water, like we see in the stream, enter through the other way. So basically, in its essence, becomes breathable, waterproof. So yeah, it's tough, it's waterproof, and you can get different grades of it as well. In some cases you can get super heavy duty waders. I don't know, you might need those for Alaska or whatever. Usually you get your waders so that you can put on layers underneath and then warm up that way. It's not like neoprene where you're sweating inside your waders and they're so hot no matter what the temperature is. These things you can dress underneath with different layers. So definitely recommend waders, especially if you're going to remote areas, that you're preventing that leak in the first place. You're kind of getting what you're paying for in terms of the quality when you're working with the stuff outside, and usually when you're paying that kind of money, that you're also getting a pretty good warranty with that stuff as well. So after catching one really nice brown trout, after losing a couple and losing about 6 hooks throughout the day, I decided to call it a day. So it was time to start making my way back through these fields, and this is where the adventure really starts to get good, as these fields will totally saturate with water. You've got tons of cattle in there, and their small little hooves penetrate into the ground and create these
really treacherous holes that fill up with water that you can't see. So it's really easy to kind of get a sprained ankle or even bust a leg or something in here. It's really hard to walk through, and you have to have waders. Besides that, you also have to go over about 7 or 8 different barbed wire fences where you put your waders at risk by tearing or punching a hole in them.
This field's got to be one of the worst things I've ever walked through. I'm walking through, I can step in one of these footprints of theirs. I've almost broken a leg a couple times. So maybe on the other side of this fence things will be a little bit better. Alright, so this field so far is just swamp. There's no cattle feeding there. Thank God I'm wearing my waders.